Hi everybody. Hi everybody. This is my second little tiny tutorial that I'm going to do. On this one I'm going to show you how to make a adorable little sponge cake. Just like this. Super easy. So supply list, if you guys want to jot it down, you need some cellulose sponges. These are from Dollar Tree. And if you notice, they don't have any scrubbies on them, so they're just sponges. Okay. And second of all, you're going to need some of your lightweight spackle. Again, this is Monica from Glass Birdbath Crafts, and we're going to be doing a fake bake today, a fake sponge cake. So this is a spackle. It's wonderful. Red Devil, you can buy it on Amazon. I haven't seen it at any of the other hardware stores, but it's the perfect consistency every time, and it is absolutely white, so it's perfect. You don't have to add any paint to it to color it. You don't have to add any flour to it to thicken it. Sometimes I might add a little drop or two of water to thin it, depending on how small my tip is, my decorator's tip. So Halloween's just around the corner, so I thought it might be fun to make a Halloween themed sponge cake. So first thing I'm going to do, I'm not particularly fond of something this large. I do a lot of other fake bakes like cakes and cupcakes and things like that, so I like to be able to add something to them that's a little bit smaller. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and start out with a measurement here. This is about almost 5 inches. So I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, and we're going to cut this in half. And remember guys, this is a sponge, so hey, that's not too bad. How about that? So I'll actually be able to get 2 3-layer sponge cakes out of this, or I could go higher if I wanted to and make it 6 layers or 4 or 5 or whatever you choose. Remember sorry, I forgot to tell you this. These scissors are my old scissors. You don't want to use your nice scissors that you have that you use for your fabrics and your ribbons. Okay, so I'm just going to set aside 3 of these, and we're just going to work with these 3 here. Okay, first thing you got to do is decide, of course, in which order you want them to be. I think I'm going to go with that. I've got my glue gun over here ready, and I'm just simply going to glue these together using hot glue. They stay really well. It's not an issue as far as the glue goes. Line them up. Can you guys see okay? And the next layer. Sticks here. So who's decorating for Halloween already? Are you getting ready? Are you getting your decorations bought? Getting your crafts made? Okay. Now, if you notice when I have this little sponge cake, there are actually little grooves here, and so I'm going to show you how I create those. It's pretty easy. With the same glue gun that I've been using to glue them together, I'm just going to turn it upside down, and I'm going to give it a little, I'm going to stick it in between the layers and just pull it backwards. And what that's doing is it's kind of melting the sponge a little bit and creating a little crease. I don't know if you can really see that or not, but it's kind of got a crease there. And you're going to do this all the way around the sponge cake. So you could leave these as is once you get them filled, and you could put a little tiny topping on the top, or you could decorate them however you want to. Maybe you like to make, you work with clay and you like to make some little clay ghosts, or maybe witches' hats, or maybe you can find something in the store that you'd like to put on it if you're not really into making your own little embellishments. You could top it with some marshmallows, fake marshmallows. We could do some, oh gosh, there's so many things you could do to decorate this. Definitely sprinkles. And you could also, if you wanted to, change the shape of this. Instead of cutting it into these little squares like I did, or little rectangles actually, you could cut them into look like a pie slice. I have some of those that are already done, and maybe I'll show you next time, but because right now I just put them away and they're way up high in my cabinet, and it would require a lot of work to get them, and it would take time away from you guys. All right, I think that's pretty good. It's not perfect and it's not super thick, but you can kind of tell how it looks. Okay, let me set that aside for a moment. Another bit to have for supplies is have yourself some wipes. I love to have these on hand because when it comes down to it, you don't want to take your spackle and you don't want to wash it down your drain or anything like that. And so this helps me if I get a little here and there, and so I don't have to go to the sink and wash it off. I have a small circular tip. I don't know what number it is, to be honest, I'm sorry. And they do make it a little smaller and they do make them a little larger. And this is called a coupling. I recommend this if you can possibly get it. There's a plastic piece inside. This is what it looks like, only this is a much larger scale. And so you put that down inside and you put your tip on it inside of the bag, and then on the outside of the bag you can twist it on, and it really holds it well. So you don't have to worry about like it spurting out on the sides or anything around here because your tip's not tight enough. So let me pull this spackle over here real quick. And we're just going to be using white on these this time, I think, would be the best color. This is actually a partial parchment bag. It used to be a bigger one, and my spackle got dried up inside, so I cut it off and emptied it out so that I could get some new spackle in there. And really with a project this small, you don't need a whole lot. And by using a smaller one like this, I think, especially as a beginner, you can get a little bit better grip on it, which I think helps when you're trying to do your decorating. All right, I'm not gonna squeeze on this because I know if I do, it's gonna go all over the place. Looks like it's still going to do that. Okay, hold on guys, I'm going to put this in the little bucket here and give it a good squeeze so I can get that. Okay, there we go. Get that other stuff out. That's a little hard and kind of clogging it up. I don't want it to do that. Okay. Always make sure you close up your spackle really good too, because you don't want it drying out. And this is a huge, this is a 1 gallon container. And believe it or not, depending on how much you enjoy getting into doing big bakes, this doesn't last all that long. And it runs about $25 on Amazon. Sometimes I can get it for $20. Okay. So here's our little big bake that we were working on. And I'm just going to give this a nice twist. And we're just going to start putting the frosting down into the groove. Now, I've seen other people that do it where they mask it off and they get like perfect little lines, and that's fine if that's your preference. I don't personally like to spend all that time. Uh-oh, it's gonna squirt. And so I kind of like just sort of freehanding it. And if there's a spot that gets like a little bit too thick, I'll just kind of wipe it off. Doesn't bother me. I don't mind. And you're just going to continue going all the way around. Now guys, you can see how easy this is, right? And it's fun, cute little way to decorate for Halloween. If you have a tiered tray or you're having a little party and you set a couple of these on a pedestal, you'd be surprised who will actually go for it thinking that it's real food. Usually it's the kids and always the husbands. I'm sure you all know what I'm saying. Seems like they will eat anything. Okay. Well, and the kids probably too. They're pretty much most monkeys will eat just about anything. Except for nowadays, it seems like the only thing these kids want is macaroni and cheese. Macaroni and cheese on the menu at every restaurant, including the fancy ones. Now, I can't say that I don't like a good macaroni and cheese, but it's got to have something like lobster or crab or, something like that so that it's tasty. Okay, you can see I kind of got a little blob there. I'm just going to use my fingernail and just kind of scoop it out. Put it on that handy baby wipe I told you to make sure you have. Okay. Now, you can leave it just like this, where the cream is kind of squishing out. Or you could kind of tap it down, or you can run your finger across it if you want to kind of push it down inside. This one is just left squishy. This one I went over with my fingers and flattened it, so you can see the difference. So again, it's just personal preference, whatever you like to do. Okay, now, I think I'm going to do something a little different with this one. This one, of course, I just did a dollop and left it mostly just sponge. And by the way, some people that do this, they actually will paint these. I don't find any need to paint them, and quite frankly, it's a chore because of all the little holes and pockets in the sponge. It's really hard to get paint on there. So I just prefer to use them like this. Okay, so let me see here. I think I'm going to go around the top edges on this. Again, this is just a little round tip. So I'm gonna just do some little like pearls. No, I don't really like that. Hang on. Yeah, I'm not digging that. Don't like that. Okay, changed my mind. That's a woman's prerogative, right? It's our prerogative to change our mind. So maybe I'll just do something wild and crazy. I'm just gonna do like a spiral look, which is kind of weird. I've never really done this before on a fake bake, but hey, it's a Halloween treat, right? So Halloween is kind of creepy and freaky and different anyways. Now, if I had a different pastry bag and it was filled with white and it had a different tip, I probably would have done that. But again, like I said, I don't have that set up right now. I've just got this one tip with the round. But you know what? That's okay. It's not bad. Kind of different. Ooh, be careful you don't touch your other sides there. Alrighty. So who's going to give this a try? I don't know about you and your neck of the woods, but fake bakes is very, very, very popular. And so I've kind of done a lot of fake baking lately, and it's a lot of fun. I love it. Okay, I've got our little squiggly edge. I'm going to put a little glitter on there because everything is better with glitter. So I have an extra fine, just white translucent glitter. I got this at Walmart or Hobby Lobby, I can't remember, but it's just a really nice light one. And so I'm going to give this a little dusting here. Alrighty. Okay, now for the center, let's just do a little swirly. have some fake sprinkles here. You can buy fake sprinkles on Amazon or on Etsy. They're just made out of polymer clay, so they're really durable. I would discourage you from using sprinkles that are real because you don't want to have a problem with insects. Man, that's not sticking to that very well. Hair tweezers. Kind of want those to stick in there. Yeah, you don't want any problems with critters. Okay. Put in a couple of light purple ones. And these aren't very expensive to buy. So don't hesitate if you have the opportunity. And you can just buy, like a really small quantity so you can just try out fake fakes if that's what you like to do. And maybe we'll put a little bit of green. The other thing that I just discovered yesterday, well, I've heard other people use it before, and I just wasn't so sure about it. But I did find some little teeny tiny seed beads. These are little glass beads, and so I just picked out a few colors that I thought were really cool, and and they're super tiny, so they really look kind of cool on the got that bright green, got this kind of pastel green, maybe a couple of each of those. What do you think? Let me close this other container. I have been known, oops, just like that, I have been known to drop. One time I had a bottle of little pearls for decorating with, and I was working with that, and I was working with my glue gun, and I was in a hurry, and I was just trying to get a project finished, and I reached over to grab my glue gun, and you know how you do a glue gun, you go down this direction and squeeze it. Well, I picked up that bottle and I went like this, just enough to dump it, and I had all of those little pearls all over the place. I kid you not. It was the biggest mess to try to clean up. Now I know this seems like it can be kind of tedious, and it is, and you don't have to do this. And actually, what I'm going to do afterwards, because some of these fell off into this area, and I kind of like it. So I will, once this dries, which will, depending on the temperature of where you're at, of course, and I'm actually in a very warm climate, dry climate right now, so I will probably set this little guy outside, and it'll probably be dry by the end of the evening. And then once it's dry, I'm going to go ahead and go back in, and I'll use a little bit of Mod Podge. For those of you that don't know what Mod Podge is, it is it's a product that you use to seal something. So you can buy a Mod. This does not say Mod Podge. This is just a Walmart brand, or Aliens. I bought this at Walmart. I do have regular Mod Podge here, and this is a matte. This is a gloss, and actually this is the super gloss. They have gloss and a super gloss, and I like to use this because, as you'll see later, I make my own drippings to go down the sides of a cake or a cupcake, or a round something that I've made, and the gloss is wonderful. So I use the gloss, and it also has some caulking and then some paint, the color of the drizzles that you want. So I will go over it lightly and just kind of dab it on so that the beads and everything will stay on there. Okay, I have this adorable little spider over here. Kind of thinking I might just set him off to the side. What do you guys think? You think? Alrighty. So let's just put that little guy over there. All right. So there you go, guys. What do you think? It's pretty cute, huh? And it was super, super easy and very inexpensive. You can also buy spackle at the Dollar Tree. It comes in a little tiny container, and it's a little bit gray and it's a little bit dry. So you just put some white paint in it, white acrylic paint. Like this, just some white acrylic paint. And then mix it up, and then you can put it in your piping bags, and it will work just fine if you just want to try something. And you don't have to spend all the money for this. Dollar Tree also has a small kit. It's got a plastic bag, and it's got 3 or 4 tips with it that are plastic, and you can certainly buy one of those and use it. Or if you don't want to spend even $1, which is okay, you can just use a sandwich bag and just cut a little tiny corner off of it and use that to do your decorating. Okay, guys, well, thanks for joining me, and I hope you guys have a really great day, night, evening, whatever you guys are doing when you happen to stumble across this tutorial. Thanks for being here with me. Bye-bye.